Excuse me, there is a message for you.
That's pretty cool.
Hey, folks. Welcome to a very special edition of the Tiger Sports Show, our 2020 year-end edition. What'd you think of the intro there, Tren?
That was pretty cool. It sounded like South Gym old school.
Very good ear. That was going to be my trivia question for you. What edition of the Hastings Tiger Pep Band was that playing Loyalty?
That was 90s. Or no, that was early 90s, late
You're right.
80s. Ha, I gotcha.
You're right about the early 90s. Yeah, 1992 Tiger Pep Band playing us in today.
It had that echo of South Gym-esque. It didn't sound like the cavern of the new old barn, so.
You have better ear than I thought, Tren. That was impressive.
I've had a lot of fun times in that gym. Give me a break. That was a fun place. It was always packed, especially in 92.
Yep. Doug Brandt's heading out to the tip-off while they're playing that, which I should say to folks, we pulled that off of an old video, and I spent the last couple weeks of December putting more and more old Tiger videos up on YouTube. So if people want to go looking for them, you can find that one. One of my favorites is you can see the cheerleaders doing "Welcome to Tigerland." You remember "Welcome to Tigerland," Tren?
I remember the dance. That was always fun.
The dance,
Then way back when you played, the Fun Bunch was always coming in right before the team did. So.
Well, there's some of those videos too. All right. Well, enough of the old days, though. Well, except we're here to talk about the old days 2020 style. We decided to put together a top 10 plays, top 10 moments of the Tiger year 2020. As Tren said last year, this hasn't been a great year, except it's been kind of a great year. A lot of amazing things have happened for the Tigers. What do you think about our list, Tren? Did we put together a pretty good list?
I thought it was pretty good. We'll talk about some honorable mentions at the end. I have a few, so.
All right. I'm interested to hear what you say. All right. Well, without further ado, let's go to the number 10 moment/play on our list. It's actually 3 plays from the softball field as the girls take full advantage of the collapsible fences. I think it's Sophie Cerveny first. This is against Adams Central.
Yeah.
The ballpark can't hold Sophie, but she can hold the ball. You know, that was one of those plays you thought might be once in a lifetime. So on the TV, they showed it several times.
There's a little smile there. And I learned a little softball this fall. If they start with their feet on the ground, I guess, and then continue to make the catch, it can count. So
they can't jump and catch and then land over the fence?
Yeah, that's what I've been told. They have to start with their feet on the ground and field a play, and then they can fall into the fence.
There you see, after Sophie did it a couple times, Sammy Schmidt got in the act. You know, those sophomores, they'll pick things up from seniors all the time. But the fences just weren't safe from the Tiger girls this year. That won't be the last we see of the softball team, who had an amazing year. But those 3 plays, those were too good of clips to pass up.
No,
Anything else you remember from the softball team pre-state tournament?
Oh, just the win over Adams Central was big. I went to those and just getting to play, just getting to go see stuff because just the way the world's been, it was a nice distraction. I froze a couple times, but I sat out there for the most part and just had fun watching them play.
Yeah, that was a big part of 2020 ever since March is just being really thankful whenever the games happened. All right, we're going to go back before March for number 9 here, though. We're going back into January for a girls' basketball game. Here we go. It was the number 3 Grand Island Northwest Vikings, the defending state champs in town, and the Tigers had one of the best nights shooting I think I've ever seen us have. That was KK Laux. There's Mac Long cashing one in. Offensive rebound by Lauren Heinrichs to Maddie and back to KK Laux again. These are all first half as we took a really big lead. That's Daleen Heinrichs getting the ball. That's Daisy hitting a 3 there, Daisy Seeley. And here, we don't even run the special play right at the end of the half, and Mac Long still knocks it down. Tigers build up a double-digit lead in the first half, and then Northwest really stormed back like you would expect a great team, a defending champ, to do. But Maddie Hilgendorf got going, hit a couple threes. Probably one of the best nights we've ever had from the three-point line. There's Daisy again with a big one.
You had pretty.
And there's Maddie. You know,
as good as your offensive shooting was, I think you caught them off guard with just the way the Tigers played defense on the Brown girl, and just some of the defensive strategies you had that night too. So,
yeah, Daleen played a big part in that. She was lurking around the lane all night. She really was kind of guarding everybody instead of guarding one girl, and it threw Northwest off for at least a little while. Then they stormed back, but boy, we held on. That was a tough day for us, Trent. If you remember, we were visiting the hospital. Dad was in the hospital. We didn't quite know what was going on. I'll just always remember that as a very emotional night and a big win for the girls. So at number 9, we've got the girls basketball upsetting Grand Island Northwest. They ended up in a district final, and we've got a tie for number 9. We got the volleyball team winning sub-districts. They're also in the number 9 spot as they played for a district final at York. They came out guns a-blazing and really got after the Dukes in the first set. It looked like they might be on their way to state. Big block there. Hayden Stevenson and Charlie Coyle on that one. Another one there. A lot of emotion from the girls. Great job. That's Daisy Seeley finishing that one off. The rest of the match didn't go the Tigers' way, but from the struggles they had during the year, and then coming back to win that sub-district at Lexington, where they weren't favored, and then going and giving York everything they had in that district final. We're going to tie them with the girls basketball team for the number 9 spot on the year.
Yeah, I just remember reading the York comments from their coach. He said that was a different Hastings team that we saw. They were almost 20-20 in the first set, and Daisy and the girls gave it everything they got, and just a bunch of Tiger pride in them. So.
Yeah, and to me, both those teams, girls basketball and volleyball, in 2020, got better as the year went on, and were playing their best ball at the end. And of course, that's what you always want. Both teams would have liked to have gotten one more win, and they'd probably gotten higher in the top 10. But really proud of the girls, and we'll see where they head in the future. All right, number 8, we're headed for the pool, Trent.
No. Don't get me. I have bad memories of the pool. So,
well, we don't have video. I think we've just got some pictures here of the boys and girls. swept the Greater Nebraska Athletic Conference Championships. Is the first time they had both won conference championships in the same year since, I believe, 1988. So I'm doing quick math. That's 32 years. That's a long time, Tren. And it was the first time the boys had won conference since Coach Scribner was in the pool as a swimmer in 1999. So it was a great year. A lot of records set. The boys 200-yard medley relay set a record, broke one that had been around for a long time. That was Taylor Quigg, Grant Johnson, Jay Sepperly, and Micah Gingenbaugh. Grant Johnson also set individual records. And then on the girls' side, there were a lot of records set. Diana Berlita set records, Lexi Anderson, Kate Delaney, Morgan Baker, Hayden Stevenson, all involved in setting individual or team records for the swimmers last year. Coach Scribbs really got that program going. And so they come in at number 8 on our best moments of 2020. All right. Number 7 is not as much fun, but we have to acknowledge the problems of 2020. So at our number 7 spot, we're going to bring in the Tigers being robbed of a spring season last year, Tren. And boy, we had some teams that really could have made some noise. You see here the 2019 baseball team, which of course finished state runner-up, and they had a lot of guys back and a legitimate chance at the Class B state championship, and they didn't have a chance to have a season. What did you think of a year where you couldn't go to Duncan Field to watch baseball, Tren?
Last spring was a struggle, and you just look at, and maybe we'll do this at the end, but you look at the boys track team and the baseball team, they both had legit chances to add state titles, which we're going to get to some more impressive things then, but it was just sad not getting to go to Duncan last spring. So that's about all I could say. So.
Yeah, the boys track, you bring them up, they fit in here too. They had finished 7th in 2019 at the state track meet and had all their points coming back. The 4x1 relay of Carson Shoemaker, Austin Nauert, David Smith, and Zaid Widener, Jaden Welsh in the distances, Pike Osborne in the jumps, Blake Turpin in the pole vault, Evan Marrera in the district, and then all 3 relays scored for the Tigers in 2019 with lots of those guys back. They were definitely a threat to win that state title. Now, the nice thing is about half those guys are still back this year. So we'll see when the spring gets going here what Coach Johnson can do with the Tiger boys. And I'll tell you, the Tiger girls had a good bunch too. You know, Daisy Seeley had been 6th in the 300 hurdles. Aubrey Kress was coming back after being 8th in the 220. And the 4x1 relay for the girls had been really solid too. So the girls really could have made some top 10 noise at state too. And of course, Daisy's still back. So I'm excited to see her hurdling again next year. And of course, it's amazing that we're talking this much about spring sports without mentioning the soccer teams, which are always threats to get down to state and make some noise. So I think that's our number 7 story of the year. Definitely the Tigers losing out on the spring. Hopefully we never have to do that again, Trent.
Yeah, it was just a tough time. You just didn't know we didn't even know what the fall would look like, and with the football and softball and all that, and it was just unprecedented, just uncertainty that we were all going through.
Yeah, and you know, you look at our fall season and the great things the kids did, that could have easily been lost too. I mean, there's plenty of states nearby who did not play their fall sports in the fall. We're just lucky to have gotten that in. Appreciate the people in the community who worked so hard to make the season happen. Now we just got to make sure the winter can happen, and the spring sports, they really need to get back out there in the spring. All right, let's turn to happier times. Back to number 6, we'll take a look at the boys basketball season from last winter. Had a lot of amazing things going on. This is the GNAC championship game in Columbus against Scotts Bluff. The The Tigers took care of business here, won their first conference championship since 2005. You see Connor Creech. You see Jake Schroeder had a big game that night. Mike Bovey had a big game. As the Tigers took care of business, won the conference, and then had some big reasons to celebrate here at the end. Here comes Creech again. The boys ran off a bunch of wins at the beginning of the year, didn't they, Trent?
Yeah, they started out big win over Kearney Catholic, and then just playing Scotts Bluff. Scotts Bluff was undefeated at the same time at conference. And then we find out that Connor Creech broke the career scoring record. He'd hit 1,000 points and broke that. And then Hagan also breaks 1,000 points later in the year. Connor gets that, and that's the district final with white ice uniforms. And Coach Creech is dancing. And all I know is I was excited to go to state when I was watching that. And it's fun just to see kids there. Hopefully we get that back soon.
Yeah, 2004 had been the last time the boys had been to state. We'll see Coach Creech's dance in a minute. But Connor had broken Mike Etzemiller's career scoring record from 2004. There he is dancing. The boys were excited. You can see the big crowd. And that's really the last time we saw a crowd like that watching a sporting event, because here's the state tournament tip-off with Roncalli. And, of course, the boys' state was where all the restrictions started coming down. That week was when the NBA canceled. Everything was going on then. So that was kind of the end of the known world for us. But definitely a great year for Coach Creech and Connor Creech and the boys' basketball program. A lot of great guys there.
Yeah, and just
all right. We're headed back outside.
Oh. Nothing.
All right, we're headed back outside for number 5 as the boys cross country team finishes top 5 in the state for the second straight year. There we go, over at Kearney. A little colder than usual for state cross country. It was one of the first times I'd ever felt more comfortable having my mask on. It kept me warm. But the boys went out, had a great day, finished just a couple of points away from finishing second and bringing home a runner-up trophy. Jaden Welsh brought home his 3rd medal at state cross country. There's Jaden running with the leaders early on. Johnny Lopez also medaled. So the first time in about 20-some years that the Tigers had 2 medalists at state cross country. Put together a great couple seasons there, and they come in as our number 5 event for the Tiger year. Of course, another bit that we kind of got robbed of in 2020, Chelsea Espinosa's injury stopped her from defending her girls' state cross country crown. So, like always with 2020, you get the good with the bad. All right. You ready for our top 4?
Here we go.
All right. Number 4, we've got the State Dual Wrestling Championship from the wrestlers. Over at Kearney, in the state duels, the wrestlers, let's see, I'm testing my memory here, but I know they beat Minden. Oh, they beat Minden, Bennington, and then Pierce for the state title, and they really just ran the Pierce Blue Jays off the mat, 54-24. Really showed the depth of the program. Coach Laux, you see Coach Geiger there. Lots of great coaches and great guys involved, an amazing senior class as they brought home a state championship trophy. And we're not going to talk about the wrestlers too much because they're going to occupy another spot in our countdown. But the State Dual Wrestling Championship is number 4 for us in 2020. All right. You ready to go to number 3?
Yep.
All right. Let's head over to Grand Island Northwest as the Tiger football team wins the state quarterfinal for the first time in 20 years.
That's a big run by little Carson Shoemaker. That was a 3rd and 5 on the final drive. So that was just a huge play by Carson, probably one of the top calls in program history by far.
It was do or die time for the Tigers, and it set this up from Briar Minke, steely-eyed missile man kicking the winning field goal.
It was it's funny, the last two, well, just yesterday there were 2 games where teams tried not to score and they had troubles or they gave up the score, and the Tigers did that right at the end. They had a chance to score, obviously thought about it and tried to run as much clock off the time off the clock to set up the Minke field goal. But we saw that yesterday in some college and pro games where that didn't go so well. So
yeah, it's tough when seconds start to be more important than points. It kind of throws off a game a little bit. We got a couple of more highlights from that game. Well, there goes Shoemaker again. Just a great atmosphere over at Grand Island Northwest. A great shootout. Tigers and the Vikings scoring all over the place.
There was Solly.
Yeah.
Another Widener run. Just a great senior class. We've been really blessed with Tigers seniors the last 2 years, and really all the way back when you've made it to state for girls basketball, those 2 years, just in how hard they've worked.
Yep, we have some great kids coming through. There's QB1 Jarrett Sinek hooking up with Shoemaker there on big play. Of course, there were lots of highlights over there at Northwest. That was a high-scoring ball game. And there were lots of highlights the next week against Elkhorn when the Tigers just came a whisper away from winning that game and going to the state final. Probably would have moved them up higher than number 3 on the ranking. And here's the touchdown to
Calvage.
Yep. Where it looked like that was going to be the winning score, and then Elkhorn was able just to escape with really great play at the end of the game. But still, Tiger football season goes number 3 on our moments. And I guess that shows you how great 2020 is, that a state football semifinal year can rank number 3 for you. So are you ready for number 2?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I think we've got to go to the softball diamond. And I think we've got to set this up because we want to listen to the boys from Millard make this call. The Tigers had trailed 6-1 early in the game. Peyton Hudson had a big home run in softball here to bring the Tigers back and get them close, but it was 6-5, 2 on and 2 outs for Kalen Schultz. And let's just let the boys from Millard make the call here.
1-2, base up the middle, scores. That one hit well into right field. But it goes. Oh my goodness, that's gonna win the game. Hastings walks it. John, what I say? On the last segment. Kalen Schultz. What I say? Comes through. Hastings moves on and beats the Grand Island Northwest Vikings 8-6. I cannot fathom that. Kalen Schultz ends it. I cannot believe what I just saw, John. Yeah. I cannot believe that. What a way to end it. A great comeback. 6 runs scored in the last 2 innings. Hastings knocks off Northwest Vikings 8-6 on a walk-off 3-run shot by Kalen Schultz.
Of course, that would put the Tigers into the semifinal the next day, where they would beat Norris, play in the state championship game against Omaha Scott, where they fell just short, bringing home a state runner-up trophy. For how many years are we going to be showing that highlight, Tren?
Long time. Kalen Schultz, she's not going to buy many meals in town once the restaurant's open.
Yeah, that's the problem with being a hero when, you're just not going out to restaurants very much. But there's the Tigers softball team, an amazing bunch, amazing senior class. But boy, they'll have a lot of firepower coming back next fall too, and I'm sure they've got big goals. All right, number one, it's got to be the second state championship won by the Wrestlers, the first in the traditional state wrestling meet for the Tigers since 1988. There's your state champion, Hastings Tigers. See the parade of champions. Damon Pape, the Tigers' only state champion last year, was really a team effort as he won his second state title at 182. Bryce Brown was a runner-up at 132. Isaac Hunsley, a runner-up at 160. Landon Widener, third place at 126. Mason Brumbaugh, fifth at 152. Evan Marrera, sixth at 195. Marcus Miller, who's still trying to get on the show, Tren, sixth place at 106. Blake Davis at 220. Had a bunch of other qualifiers: Hunter Anderson, Dalton Hanson, Austin Yohe, Jet Samuelson, and Josh Kalejas, who I was just talking to Josh yesterday. What a great guy. They'd been third in 2019. That wasn't good enough for them. They wanted to climb the trophy stand there and hold that trophy up high, and they sure did it. Just a great time to be a Tiger. And, of course, that was just before everything kind of fell apart. So state wrestling was a full show there. Pretty exciting time to be a Tiger.
Yeah, definitely. 1988, Coach Laux' son, Brian, who came back to coach the Tigers, was on the 88 team. When my kids clean in the North Gym lobby, we use that as a reward for the day. There's one of two. You have to spot the Hastings High teacher that's in the picture, and then the golf picture we always have to look at with the bodiless state champion golfer. So,
because he's got the floating head there. Yeah, people who've been in the North Gym lobby know about that Tiger. Hey, they were moving those pictures around to make room for those boys. The wrestling pictures going up here pretty soon.
That's great.
So do you have some honorable mention moments that we didn't get in our top 10?
Well, I got 4 for sure. The first one, Little Shoes historic season, 1,000-yard season, only the second receiver in school history, tying the Tiger great Pat Trader. Just a huge accomplishment for Little Shoe. He got first team Class B in the World Herald today. Our favorite quarterback, Mr. Sinek, was second team All Nebraska and first team All Class B. I got the Lincoln North Star game in general. Coming off the spring, you did get to see some summer sports with the Chiefs and at Duncan, but just the North Star game as a whole. And just, I remember we were talking how much fun it was to be there again, and it was hot. And we had to do all the social distancing stuff, but it was just fun to be at a Tiger game again, because the last time was the district final in the North Gym. Then I got beating McCook. Yep, go on.
And just, I mean, the Tigers and North Star really opened the state back up. That was one of the first games anywhere.
Yeah, and there was a lot of coverage to it. Most of the media in the East, because there's only a handful of games that week 0. I got McCook beating not one time, not twice, but 3 times in a row. It's always nice to beat the Bison, and pretty much just explains it all, because beating the McCook, something we haven't done, to beat them 3 straight times is huge, and hopefully we can keep that going.
That was exciting. A great program out there at McCook. Getting those wins out there was really a sign that this group of boys was going to do big things. All right, what's your fourth?
I got one more, and it's beating GI Northwest twice in 2 weeks. Just with rivalry, 281. They got the boat. They're rowing that boat. We're trying to sink it. and it was nice to get any wins over Northwest. It could be at Tiddlywinks and hopscotch and chess, and beating Northwest is fine with me.
All right, I'm more a beating the Islanders guy, as I was kind of hoping that the Class A schedules would get gooped up and we'd end up having a shot at GI High this year. But I'm all right with beating Northwest too.
Yeah. I like beating them on their field. Twice on their field's huge.
Yeah.
Plus with the Tiger Victory
Yeah,
cannon.
that was big.
We should have had a spot for the Tiger
you'll notice
Victory cannon.
You notice there were a lot of wins over ground Northwest at the top of the countdown between softball and football.
Well, and wrestling, because they were right behind us in wrestling. So it was a good year to beat
the key word.
Yeah.
It was indeed. Well, a great time for the Tigers in 2020. We're getting ready. People will probably save this video and watch it on New Year's Eve right up to midnight as the countdown trend. And right as midnight hits, they're going to want to hear what from you.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers. We'll see you next week, folks.